Welcome to the Firo Pizza Sports Studio. I'm your host, Brock Baldridge. Oklahoma State baseball gets the week off to recover before their Bedlam matchup this weekend. OSU softball had some non-conference action on the road last night, and after a long wait, the NFL draft is only 1 day away. Plus, a YouTuber and one of the greatest boxers of all time will fight. What could go wrong? All that and more coming up next on the Sports Report. Oklahoma State baseball had another rough series last weekend against Texas. Oklahoma State has no scheduled games during the week, but the Cowboys are taking this chance to recover before they shift their focus to a Bedlam battle this weekend against in-state rival Oklahoma. OSU is scheduled to play OU this Friday night in Stillwater at O'Brate Stadium starting at 6 p.m. Central. Then Oklahoma State will go on the road to play in Norman against the Oklahoma Sooners for the remaining games of the series on Saturday and Sunday. Oklahoma State softball enjoyed their weekend off last week as they prepare for the toughest stretch of their season coming up in the next 2 weeks, as they will travel to play in Austin against the number 7 ranked Longhorns this weekend, then come back home to face the number 1 ranked Sooners the next weekend. But first, the Cowgirls had to take care of some non-conference road games as Oklahoma State was on the road last night in Wichita, Kansas, taking on the Shockers. The Cowgirls lost a tough game by a final score of 3-2. Only the 6th loss of the year for the Cowgirls. Oklahoma State will now travel to Tulsa tonight to take on the Golden Hurricane. The game is scheduled to start at 5 p.m. Central later this evening in Tulsa. Well, Oklahoma State women's golf won the Big 12 championship last week, but now the men are trying to replicate that. Oklahoma State men's golf moved up the leaderboard on the third day of the Big 12 championship tournament. The Cowboys are in a 3-way tie for first place with Texas and Oklahoma with only 18 holes remaining. All 3 teams currently stand at 16 over 8, 56 through 54 holes. The Cowboys are looking for their 11th conference title in program history. The NFL draft is only 1 day away, and about 30 hours from now, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be on the clock to select the first overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. This year's draft will be held in Cleveland, Ohio, and with all the offseason chatter, the pressure starts to become real for NFL teams tomorrow night. Let's take a look at the current draft order of the top 10 teams selecting tomorrow. The Jacksonville Jaguars will have the first overall pick. Picking second will be the New York Jets. The San Francisco 49ers move up 9 spots after trading with Miami to have the 3rd overall pick. The Falcons will be at number 4. The Cincinnati Bengals will be selecting 5th. The Miami Dolphins, who traded back into the top 10 with Philadelphia, will be selecting with overall pick number 6. The Detroit Lions will be at 7. Carolina Panthers will be at 8. The Denver Broncos will be at 9. And rounding out the top 10 will be the Dallas Cowboys. This year's draft will also feature several Oklahoma State football players who will wait anxiously for their name to be called this weekend. The players that entered this year's draft from Oklahoma State included Tevin Jenkins, Tylan Wallace, Rodarius Williams, Dylan Stoner, Chuba Hubbard, and Amon Ogbongbemiga. In the Super Bowl era, Oklahoma State has never had more than 5 players drafted in a single NFL draft. Moving on to some NBA news now, the Oklahoma City Thunder won their first game in a month. The Thunder were on the road last night taking on the Boston Celtics. The Thunder would snap a 14-game losing streak and win the game by a final score of 119-115. Lou Dort led the way by scoring 24 points, and Darius Bazley scored 21 points and 10 rebounds. The Thunder will now head back home to Chesapeake Energy Arena to take on the New Orleans Pelicans tomorrow night. On the final note, it's official. YouTube star Logan Paul will box Floyd Mayweather Jr. on June 6th at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. Logan's brother Jake has been making some headlines by knocking out former NBA All-Star Nate Robinson and UFC star Ben Askren. Floyd Mayweather has not boxed since 2017, where he last beat UFC star Conor McGregor. Mayweather has never lost a boxing match in his career and has a perfect record of 50-0. As absurd as this all sounds, this fight might have potential to be one of the highest revenue-generated fights of all time. That's all the time we have today for the Sports Report. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in at the same time tomorrow for the Sports Report.
The Sports Report is brought to you by Firo's Fire-Kissed Pizza.